So the basics of THORChain is not that complex. In this video, we will go through what is THORChain and what is the basic THORChain protocol structure. First of all, I would like to mention that please consider THORChain as an AMM rather than a DEX because it not only provides swaps, but you can also earn yield on your assets. You also face low slippage here because of the AMM structure, and you can also yield farm based on the LP ownership you receive. This is something which will boost during the THOR5 phase, but that's something for a later stage. Okay, so there are three components or roles in the THORChain protocol. There are users, there are liquidity pools, and there are vaults, which are managed by node operators. So a user provides liquidity in the liquidity pools. He can provide liquidity using his BTC, Ethereum, BNB, BUSD, or any other supported asset. One thing to note is that every liquidity pool in THORChain requires Rune as a base pair. So the pool is something like BTC Rune pool, ETH Rune pool, BUSD Rune pool, and Rune acts as a settlement currency here. In exchange for providing liquidity, a user earns fees and block rewards. So all the liquidity provided in the liquidity pools are secured by vaults, and vaults are managed by node operators. So there are primary vaults and various secondary vaults. A primary vault acts as the main vault which holds most of the assets and requires two-third consensus of all node operators. And there are various secondary vaults or small vaults which exist to have faster transactions and faster consensus. In exchange for providing security to the network, these node operators earns fees and block rewards. As all the liquidity in the pool is secured and managed by node operators, a user can simply send the asset to the vaults and request the swapped asset or desired asset back, and vaults confirms the transactions using the two-third majority or having two-third majority on confirmation, and then sends the desired asset back to the user. So you might be wondering why node operators doesn't steal the assets in the liquidity pools. For you to understand this, you will first have to understand the optimal state of the network and the 2:1 ratio between bonded rune and pooled rune in the network. So every new asset in the liquidity pool requires equal amount of rune in the pool to maintain the 50:50 ratio, the basic AMM structure. But in THORChain, twice the amount of rune in the pool must be bonded by node operators. This is required to keep the network secure and discouraging any motive to steal the assets. If the network is in optimal state, that is, there is a 2:1 ratio between bonded and pooled rune, stealing the assets is not profitable for the node operators, as the bonded rune is worth twice as much as the assets in the pool. So at the end, the node operators will ultimately lose money more than what they have bonded, thus trying to steal the assets isn't in their favor. But suppose for any reason, if the network is not in optimal state, that is, it is heavily under or over bonded, the incentive pendulum will come into action. The incentive pendulum shifts the block income to bring the network back to optimal state. For example, if the network is in under bonded state, the incentive pendulum will increase the bond rewards to encourage more people to bond their rune in the network, and simultaneously it will reduce the liquidity rewards to discourage any addition of liquidity or to make people withdraw their liquidity as the APY is no longer attractive to them. And both these actions helps in bringing the network back to its 2:1 ratio between bonded rune, pooled rune, and the network comes back to its optimal state. So we can say that incentive pendulum and rational or profit seeking actors make sure the network is always in an optimal state and the funds are economically secured in the network. So this was a quick overview on how THORChain works. A user can provide liquidity with any supported asset, and as all the funds are secured by node operators, a user can also make native cross-chain swaps in the protocol using the funds pooled by others in the network, and thus native and decentralized cross-chain swaps are possible for the first time in history. All the funds in the network are economically secured thanks to incentive pendulum and the structure THORChain adopts. This is a very basic explanation. I hope you guys liked it, and please provide your feedback in the comment section. Thank you.